been a tough week this past week for all of us. You are not aware of it, but maybe some of you are. We lost two men of our family that we loved and we cared a lot about. And some of you may remember, if you were at our reunion this past summer, that Ken Murphy and his son Jimmy were there. Ken was the old guy like me that was out there pitching, and we were all worried about him as everybody was worried about me, probably. We were too old to be out there playing softball with all the young kids. But we did it anyway. But Ken pitched in our ball game, and Bob and Betty were there, and they were able to be there that day, which was great. I know it wasn't easy for either one of them to be there, but they came. Kenny and Bobby were both cops. And the reason I mentioned Kenny is because Kenny was 84, 83, Bobby was 81. Both cops, both died on the same day. Kenny in Florida and Bobby here in Cincinnati. It was only 10 minutes apart. So it's been a tough week, but it's also been a joyous week. It's a time of celebration, as we all know, because Bob's in a better place, Ken's in a better place. We all look forward to that time when we can join them. Betty asked me to say a few words about Bobby, and I kind of wondered, how do you say a few words about Bobby? One of the few words would be, he loved everybody. And that's what was evident in some of the things that I found out. Because I asked my brothers and sisters and also cousin Jenny of some of the things that they might have remembered. And so some of these things you younger guys and gals will maybe be interested in because you may not have known this about Bobby. So I remember him as a policeman. But I always had a problem with that because I could never picture Bob being a tough, and maybe some are mean policeman. Okay? I always saw Bob as a big teddy bear. But he was always hugging and just loving and talking about all of his family, all of the time. And how proud he was of every one of them. Joy said that she was younger than the boys and also a female, but much of my interaction with Bobby came as we were older. She remembered them visiting us, or us visiting them. Since we were on opposite sides of the city, we didn't really get to see much, or as much of some of our other cousins. She always remembered that any time she saw Bobby, he always hugged me and said, "Hi, sweetie." "Hi, honey." You always felt special when he would greet you. Her favorite memories are when Bobby and Betty would visit Mommy, Aunt Dottie, and Janie and Joy before and after Mommy had her stroke. And they would come over to our house at least once a month. Usually a Saturday or a Sunday. You remember this, Betty? On Saturday or Sunday, they would always bring a treat of some kind. They were so easy to be around. We would talk, we would laugh, we would eat. And when they would leave, it was always hugs and kisses. And Bobby always made me feel special and very much loved. Bobby loved everyone, and everyone loved Bobby. Brother Don said that Don and Berta's favorite memory of Bobby was how he welcomed Berta when she came to the United States from Germany to marry Don. Don remembers that Bobby was maybe an usher in their wedding. Berta doesn't remember it that way. So that's kind of a little bit of a disagreement. Probably the first one they've ever had in 50+ years of marriage. But Jim remembers that, Brother Jim remembers that he and Bobby got into trouble sometimes, more than once. He remembers the boys and girls outhouses. If any of you remember the outhouses that were at Plainville School when we were growing up, boys out on one side, girls out on the other. You have to find a tree next to the girls' outhouse so that you might get a better view of the inside of the outhouse, I guess. They got up in a tree and didn't quite accomplish their effort there when the custodian started walking out towards them. And so needless to say, they came down faster than anyone else. So that was just one of the things that Jimmy and Bobby got into. Bobby and Jim were climbing on the fire escape.